Hey friends, welcome to Stocks and Crypto Plays. I'm talking about AMC stock. I found this hidden video from Yahoo Finance on the last time AMC squeezed when we ran up to like $72. At this point in the video, AMC was only at like $40 and they were still surging. It's unbelievable. They even call out Adam Aaron for wanting to dilute AMC, putting out another 500 million shares at that time. He wanted to do it and there was a vote coming up. It's crazy to watch this video. It's only like 7 minutes. You guys got to watch it. You're going to love it. It's going to prepare us for what's coming up, I believe. You just got to take a look back. And back then, I never saw this video when we were squeezed back then. I mean, this is like a hidden video. You guys are going to love this. Make sure you watch the whole thing because throughout the video, the 7 minutes, it's just, here's a gem, here's a gem, here's a gem, here's a gem. Like they're not all in the beginning or all at the end or all in the middle. They spread it out. There's just gems in that whole video. You got to watch that whole video. Okay, guys? I'm going to play it for you here in a minute, and then right after I'm done talking now, I'll play the video, and then at the end of the video, I'll come back on and I'll do some commentary, see what you guys think about it all. By the way, I'm getting real excited for this upcoming week. You know, we're going to have the Supreme Court ruling from Delaware, most likely, on whether we get the emergency stay or not. We're just a few days away from having to face a 10-to-1 reverse split in an ape to AMC dilution of a billion ape into AMC. A lot of stuff going on. Pay close attention. Make sure you're subscribed. Feel free to actually join. You'll get elite status. All right, here we go, friends. I'm going to play it for you right after this. I'll be back on with some commentary. This video is amazing. Pay close attention to the whole thing. Talk to you soon.
Well, let's bring in another voice here, Chad Bynan, a regular on our show now, Macquarie analyst. Chad, let's talk about where AMC is trading right now. I mean, Zach just asked the question, you know, what's driving the gains right now and what is going to be the catalyst to push things to the downside? How do you see the action playing out?
Sure. Thanks, Akiko. Thanks, Zach. Yeah, another day, another 25% gain. A few things that we wanted to point out. One, this is kind of getting lost in all the news. Memorial Day weekend box office, we thought was pretty encouraging. A Quiet Place 2 came out. This was a big release. Roughly 50 million of admission revenue domestically. So that was a really good performance. That showed that there is still demand for the consumer to go back to the box office. There's certainly some crowds who aren't comfortable with this yet, but when the product is there, you know, this kind of just kind of highlights what to expect in the next couple months when there will be a slew of products. So that was one, obviously, major positive. The second thing, as you mentioned, was AMC was able to free up some additional capital here. The bonds, some of the 12% bonds are actually trading close to 97 cents on the dollar right now. Back in November, those were trading at 5 cents. So the bonds have rallied. Obviously, the stock has rallied. And then, you know, the third big thing that we're all kind of focused on is this July vote to potentially allow for another 500 million shares, and that would permit AMC to either address the leases, address the conventional debt, or participate in the M&A market. And then the last thing I'd like to mention, just in terms of what Adam Aaron announced here, don't forget he was the chief marketing officer at Hyatt. He was the chief marketing officer at United Airlines. And then he was the CEO of Norwegian. So he's historically worn a marketing hat, and this is kind of what he's getting back to. So very encouraged with what this announcement was today.
How encouraged, though, are we talking here, Chad, when it comes to where shares should be trading, though? Because, I mean, you're talking a lot about catalysts that might be good. I mean, specifically the recovery here in attendance over Memorial Day would be good for all kinds of theater-based stocks. And, you know, one of the other ones we talked about, Cinemark, not necessarily seeing nearly as large of a boost off of those strong box office numbers. So when it comes to AMC, I mean, you had a price target last time we were talking to $6 a share, now at $40. I know it's hard to kind of tease out directly to what kind of rebound you'd price in to get to $40 a share, but roughly, I mean, what kind of a rebound in attendance relative to 2019 would that even look like to justify $40 a share?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, we have to be grounded in terms of historical, you know, fundamental valuation methodologies that we kind of go back to. In terms of admission revenues, we expect for 2022 and 2023 to be roughly down 4% versus 2019. So when we put that in our models, it actually, gives us a pretty healthy price target upside for companies like Cinemark, ticker CNK, and IMAX, ticker IMAX. AMC, to your point, we just can't get there from a valuation base. We believe that if everything goes right, they can generate somewhere around $1 per share of free cash flow. And historically, we're going to value these companies at 10 to 15 times free cash flow. So our $6 published price target, if everything went right, would become kind of a $10 to $15 price target. And then we'd have to see if AMC, if Adam Aaron decide to kind of pivot their strategy, pivot the company, get into something else. If this is still a U.S. and European theater stock, that's pretty much as high as we could get to. Certainly not where it is today.
And Chad, when you talk about sort of the marketing hat for Adam Aaron and being a little encouraged by that, what does that mean from a fundamental standpoint? When you're talking about the upside, obviously he's appealing to the shareholders, but you're also looking at sort of the numbers of the company as activity picks back up. Do you see that having any correlation?
One of the things that they were focused on ahead of the pandemic was this A-list membership. They have the free loyalty membership, which is Stubs, and they had roughly 12 million people in that program. A-list subscribers were people who were essentially pre-buying tickets or buying a few tickets per month for $20 to $25. And that's kind of when the subscription wave was happening. And that's something that Adam Aaron was really focused on. They got to almost 1 million people. So I think what he's doing right now with connecting with shareholders is potentially trying to increase that A-list base, give them discounts at the box office, give them discounts on the popcorn, and then go from there. And then the studios, would have more data on these people. And if an individual that owns the stock likes to see Marvel movies, when the next one comes out, AMC will be able to help target that product to that customer. So I think this is more of a continuation of what he was doing pre-pandemic with the A-list subscription. But it's a very dynamic situation. We'll see how many of these people actually sign up for the program and want to go to the box office. He believes that they will because they're shareholders, but time will tell.
Yeah, that's a big question. I mean, there is one reason to enjoy kind of the upside in the stock versus the experience you might get at an AMC. But I mean, it sounds like, in all of our discussions, you kind of have been hesitant to adjust the price target because no one wants to be wrong and caught on the wrong side of this momentum play. We saw the same thing happen with GameStop. I mean, relative to kind of where we're at, I know this is a difficult question, but we just saw Mudrick Capital dump all the shares they bought almost immediately here. Where do you see this going in the short term, given kind of the enthusiasm on the retail side? How big of an impact might that have moving forward?
It's tough to tell because I think the fundamental analysis that we're grounded in, again, is more positive here. But I think a lot of the retail investors and the apes, so they call themselves, they're really looking at some of the technical factors, some of the call option buying, and they're really focused on a few levels. If it breaks through that level, they continue to buy. If they see the short interest go up, they continue to buy to squeeze out some of those shorts. That's something we're probably not as focused on as a fundamental analyst that covers the free cash flow and the earnings of the company. So, we're starting to incorporate more of that into our analysis, but that's one of the reasons why, we still think you can win owning Cinemark and IMAX, benefiting from the rising tide of a strong box office, but not having the current valuation that AMC currently controls.
Macquarie analyst Chad Bynan, always good to get your insight on the theaters as we continue to follow the wild swings with AMC.
So what do you think, friends? Does that blow your mind? Isn't it crazy to hear all that stuff from that video from back then, a couple years ago when AMC did a short squeeze? We could see that happening again, can't we? We just need it all to line up right. We have the highest cost to borrow, 1,000% cost to borrow. We have the highest shares on loan, 211 million shares on loan for AMC stock. We have very high fails to deliver AMC shares, some of the highest ever, and we are on the non-compliance threshold list for 41 days, 41 trading days. And supposedly GME did a short squeeze at somewhere between 40 to 45 days. I've heard conflicting information on that. This is crazy, guys. This is crazy. We just need everything to line up. I'm not saying we are going to short squeeze. I'm saying we need the right ingredients. We need a victory in the Supreme Court of Delaware, and we just might get that. We're going to find out within the next few days. But looking at this video is very exciting, and we can see what may happen very shortly. Hit like, subscribe, add notifications, share this video with a friend. It's hard to find. Found this video for you guys. I hope you enjoy it. Comment below what you think about all this. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.